This fighter had a very particular obsession with Canelo Alvarez, even going so far as to say that he wanted to be so close to him that it would feel as if they were eating together. Without realizing it, he was doing nothing but getting closer to a certain death. Welcome! In today's video, I will take you back to relive one of Canelo Alvarez's most epic fights. The one where he let the power of his fists have the final say, teaching James Kirkland the hardest lesson he could have ever learned in his life: not to be a big mouth. You'd better hold on to your seat because a whirlwind of destruction is about to hit us. Fight context. The year was 2015, and Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas was preparing to host one of the best fights of the year. Canelo Alvarez was making his highly anticipated return to professional boxing, facing James Kirkland, a fighter well known for his wild intensity, undeniable knockout power, and somewhat intimidating bullying tactics. Kirkland's professional career had been as turbulent as it was terrifying. His time in the sport had already been marked by controversies, arrests, and an unpredictable temperament. To experts, this wasn't going to be a fight decided solely by skill. The outcome of this bout would favor the boxer who truly had that killer instinct within him. But who really was James Kirkland? He wasn't your average fighter. His aggressive style had allowed him to turn the tide in many fights, even when he was on the verge of defeat. This earned him a professional record of 32 wins, with 28 of them coming by way of knockout. For those interested, his story outside the ring was just as dramatic. Kirkland served 2 years in prison for armed robbery in 2003 and became an inmate again in 2009 for illegal possession of firearms. His lifelong trainer, Ann Wolfe, worked tirelessly to turn his violent tendencies into something positive through discipline, but Kirkland's volatile temperament overshadowed her efforts. Despite his brutal lifestyle and his nickname, the Mandingo Warrior, critics at one point believed he struggled to reach his full potential without Wolfe's guidance. Without his mentor, scandals and accusations of excessive brutality quickly followed, feeding the narrative that he was a fighter consumed by chaos. On the night of May 9th, Canelo stepped into the arena calm and laser-focused, despite all the trash Kirkland had been talking in aggressive attempts to intimidate him. As night fell, it became clear that this wasn't just another fight. For Canelo, it was a statement. At this point in his career, Canelo had already become a global boxing icon, suffering only one defeat, at the hands of Floyd Mayweather just 2 years prior. Since that major setback in his rise to glory, Canelo had focused on improving as a fighter, dominating opponents like Alfredo Angulo, and bringing out his best to dismantle Cuban prospect Erislandy Lara in a brutal battle that solidified his reputation. For Canelo, facing Kirkland was yet another trial by fire, a chance to prove his greatness in the eyes of the doubters. Fight summary. From the moment the opening bell echoed through the arena, the energy in the stadium was pure electricity. Two great fighters, face to face. What more could fans expect than an all-out frenzy? Kirkland struck first, as if possessed by a demon. The Mandingo Warriors' combinations were wild, aiming to overwhelm Canelo with sheer intensity.
In the corner,
Canelo already ate a good right hand from Kirkland. It's one of the reasons.
As Kirkland fires away and Canelo keeps his guard up, Kirkland firing away, lands a left, lands another left. Canelo's getting hit by Kirkland, and he's stuck in the Kirkland. Squares his feet up and forgets to stay in a responsible boxing stance.
He just got hurt.
At first, his bold aggression seemed to pay off, but it only took Canelo a couple of seconds to rise to the challenge. Executing a masterclass in damage control, Canelo used his experience to neutralize Kirkland's reckless attack, landing clean shots in the very first round. Blows that Kirkland surely hadn't seen coming. Cornered against the ropes, Kirkland received the harsh reality check he had been begging for long before stepping into the ring.
A rope-a-dope that tells you how hurt he must be.
Well, Canelo taking his time and landing the big shot knowing he
Right hand, down goes Kirkland.
Yet, showing his fearless resilience, he wasted no time getting back on his feet and continuing the fight. Like a man on a mission, Kirkland kept pressing forward, completely ignoring the fact that he had already been badly hurt in the previous exchange. Once again, Canelo proved he was up to the task, delivering powerful uppercuts and a right hand so precise it looked ready to perform a cesarean section straight on Kirkland's bloated ego. It was only a matter of time before Kirkland found himself against the ropes again, punished by relentless body combinations that exploded on him without mercy. At that moment, the loudmouth finally understood what it meant to be saved by the bell.
Together brilliantly ever since the early assault. Left hook to the body. Canelo working for Kirkland that locked him in the corner. Huge right hand. John Sorley looking. And Kirkland.
The second round followed a similar pattern. Kirkland returned from his corner hopeful of closing the gap Canelo had created, but Canelo responded with pinpoint accuracy and devastating body shots, making his dominance more evident with every impact. Against the ropes, Canelo made sure to unleash a brutal flurry of headshots on Kirkland, giving him plenty of time to reflect on his unnecessarily confrontational attitude outside the ring.
Right, straight right, left to the body.
Kirkland's going to get stopped if he doesn't throw some shots.
Tremendous.
It was only a matter of time before Kirkland started dancing to the rhythm of Canelo's monstrous punches. He tried to turn the situation around, moving the fight away from the ropes and pinning Canelo against them, but he lacked the strength to subdue him. Like someone making waves in water, Canelo simply stretched out his left hand to push the already exhausted Kirkland off him, escaping the potential danger his weakened opponent had tried to trap him in. Canelo was no longer just attacking the head. He knew he had to destroy Kirkland's foundation to prevent him from rebuilding himself as many times as necessary and pulling off another one of his inexplicable last-minute victories. So, he also focused on brutalizing his body. In the middle of the exchange, Kirkland, already drained from trying to keep up with the intensity of Canelo's offense, briefly grabbed Alvarez by the neck, letting go before the referee stepped in to separate them.
And look at this, guys. Canelo loves this kind of fight. You can see it.
This was yet another sign that the Mandingo warrior was desperate to gain an edge over Canelo, even if it wasn't in the most ethical way inside the ring. Canelo returned to the ropes but felt comfortable with them at his back. Kirkland tried to return some of the powerful blows he had been receiving, but 99% of them missed, and the remaining 1% lacked the force to cause any real damage. Kirkland was truly fighting for his life, attempting to smother Canelo with his chaotic offense, but nothing could save him from Canelo's ruthless uppercuts. His only real achievement in this round was not getting knocked down again.
An all-out war in round 2. And these are big, powerful junior middleweight.
You wonder if Canelo Alvarez is punching.
That was the right uppercut. Team Kirk, everything. But that uppercut...
By the third round, Canelo gave the crowd a performance worthy of a true horror show. With Kirkland trying to steal control of the fight's pace, throwing everything he had left in his already obsolete arsenal, Canelo waited patiently, evaluating every possible scenario and calculating his next big move with absolute precision. Commentators praised Kirkland for staying in the fight after those 2 disastrous opening rounds, but they had no idea what was just seconds away.
Over, his legs are still churning. Here he's it.
Man. You got a boxing match last week. That's a different thing than a fight.
Kirkland attempted to overpower Canelo, pinning him against the ropes, but Alvarez broke free. Back in the center of the ring, the power punches started raining down on him. Eventually, Canelo unleashed a combination that could only be described as a masterpiece. A devastating uppercut followed by a sweet left hook shattered Kirkland.
And coming back.
And tell him to cut there.
After getting up from the canvas for the second time, Canelo, who could already smell the end, delivered his incredible right hand, sealing Kirkland's fate. At that point, all Kirkland could do was brace himself for the moment his sentence was carried out.
Right uppercut continues to land. There's a perfect straight right hand.
Canelo defeated Kirkland by knockout at 2 minutes and 19 seconds into the third round of a scheduled 12-round fight. It was yet another thrilling victory in the Mexican fighter's career and a brutal shut-up call for the troublesome fighter who, as it turned out, wasn't as skilled as he thought. Did you see this outcome coming? Leave your thoughts in the comments.